Hello, ladies and gentlemen. BTM here, bringing you match number 1 in my new Age of Empires 3 series. My overall record is 0-0, as of course this is the first match. It's been a while. I am very, very glad to be here with any of you guys who are still watching this game and enjoying it. I estimate that the same amount of people are still actually watching my channel as are playing the game. That is namely 0. But if you have managed to find your way and stumble onto one of my videos, I am very grateful for your patronage. I am, of course, playing in red as the Russians against the Ottomans in blue at the south of the map. I'm currently rated as a Master Sergeant, and that's mostly just a legacy rating. I haven't played the game in over a year. The Sergeant's a little bit lower, and he has currently been playing, so it's going to kind of be a little bit of a rust versus skill thing. Do I have enough skill left under all my rustiness to beat this guy? Well, we'll have to watch and see. I do mess up my early game micro pretty well. I'm bungling it. I got villagers bumping into each other. I got all sorts of shenanigans going on. I'm looking for great treasures, but I'm not finding them. Trying to get all my settlers on food. Trying to shoot down buffalo. The buffalo are pretty resilient. I'm thinking, of course, of the song Guy on a Buffalo. There will be no guys on the buffalo in the Russian villages. All buffaloes will be killed and eaten for the glory of the Russian Empire. But jokes aside, no, we're going to have to look at beating this Ottoman guy. It's going to be one-on-one. I haven't played in forever. My micro is going to be pretty bad. Here I'm looking for a deck. I don't know which deck to pick. I have a ton of decks available. I have a cav deck, a wet deck, rush decks, multiple rush decks. I end up just picking one randomly that looks good. I will realize later in the match that that rush deck actually does not have any wood trickle card in it, the distributism, blah, 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 blah. No, there's a card called distributism in the deck that's important. This deck doesn't have it. I'm going to have to send 300 wood instead. I'll discuss that later. Here I am, of course, trying to creep on this treasure. I do mess it up. Again, it's been forever. I knew vaguely, like, I shoot this guy, I walk away, I shoot this other guy, and then I realize it's a 90 food 80 food peanut treasure in the middle of Great Plains against the Ottoman. If I let my enemy opponent grab this treasure, he's going to age up even faster. So I need to get on this treasure. I need to get on this treasure quickly. This is about the point in the game where I freak out because I don't have the wood trickle and I'm pissed off. But the reason why grabbing that treasure was important, of course, is the Ottomans either will rush incredibly quickly or they will go for a fast fortress equally incredibly quickly. But all around, there's a bunch of incredible quickness and a lot of misery for people playing the Ottomans if you are unaware of the Ottoman's OP tendencies. Here I do look at his deck to kind of see what he's got going on, and I guess it kind of struck me as a Age 3 deck, but I don't really know enough to pay attention. Again, I haven't played in a year, so I'm just having fun, to be honest. I am scouting around the map. I did get that 80 food. I'm herding some buffalo. I'm thinking, all right, this is pretty easy. Now I know I used to make videos of this game, having a good time, and trying to get all my villagers on food. The 300 wood is about to pop. The reason, of course, why the 300 wood is not preferable to the wood trickle card is because the wood trickle card will keep going and giving you wood beyond the initial 300. So you might get the 300 wood initially faster, but the wood trickle will last you for the rest of the game and will cumulatively be a lot more wood. And in addition to that, you're not really going to want to use the 300 wood as soon as you get it. You're going to want to save it up for when you're aging and you want to actually build a blockhouse. So right now I have this wood on my floor, and I'm not actually going to use it for a little bit. However, I'm going to explore. I'm going to walk past. The Ottoman player built a trading post because that's what every Ottoman player in the history of ever does. I do accidentally forget to send some villagers to go grab the wood off the floor, so now they have to walk to the tree, walk back. It's a mess. I'm meanwhile scouting Blue's town, just taking a quick peek-see, looking at what he's doing. He's got a lot of people on wood, and that kind of surprises me. I kind of figure, well, if you're going to go for a fast fortress, yeah, you might need 200 woods to build up a barrack, so you can do like a 5-gen semi-FF, but in reality, you shouldn't have a lot of people on wood. So I was a little bit curious there, but I'm not going to trip it. I'm going to build the blockhouse right in my town. I'm thinking, all right, put the blockhouse there. I can protect it. No need to stress out. Meanwhile, we'll just keep exploring the region. I want to see how many people he shifts to gold, how soon he shifts them to gold. I want to see if he ships 700 gold as soon as he hits the colonial age. I got things to see. So I'm, of course, trying to keep my exploring the region, but he still has a ton of people on wood. And I'm walking by here thinking, okay, this is very extraordinary. Is he going to build another trading post? Is he going to build a mosque? What the heck is he doing? Is he going to build an artillery foundry or double barracks and then really try to put on the pressure? And is that why he's doing it? I'm not sure, but just to be safe, I, of course, built that blockhouse with 3 settlers. Might have been a bit of a waste, but again, I kind of expected him to be aging up a lot faster and getting on that pressure quicker. I am going to build a market. Traditionally, people know BTM for never building a market. However, my New Year's resolution was to quit doing heavy drugs and build more markets in Age of Empires 3. I never did did do heavy drugs, but I never built markets either. So I am going to build the market. I am herding that herd back to me. My 400 wood arrives as I hit the next age, and I'm feeling pretty good. I'm like, all right, let's get 5 Cossacks out on the field and let's start doing stuff. He hits the second age too, with a trading post being built, which is now very, very confusing. I see the people gathering the wood from his age up, and he still has settlers on wood, although now they're moving, and I'm just very confused. I'm trying to figure out why. Why are you having these settlers walking to food? Why aren't you going for coin? Are you going to fast fortress? What the heck is going on? So I'm a little bit perplexed, but I'm not going to judge him. I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm also trying to balance my economy out, and I'm going to keep walking through his town, crisscrossing. I think there's a couple moments of really, really extreme importance when you hit the colonial age early, and you have an opportunity to look in your opponent's town and kind of get a few beats on what's going on. For example, if his explorer was watching through my town, he would see the Cossacks arrive, he'd see the wood on the floor, he'd see the defensive blockhouse rather than the offensive blockhouse, and that would tell him a lot about my strategy and allow him to adapt accordingly. Now I, of course, do scout, and I do see that he has some barracks and an artillery foundry going, and I also do notice as my cav runs past his trading post, that the trading post shoots at me, which means he has shipped the advanced trading post card, which makes his trading posts a little bit stronger and a little bit more shooty. And they'll have a low-ranged attack, which is stupid, but whatever. I do see some villagers over here on wood. Why would they be over here on wood and not in their town center? I am going to manage to kill one and then run away. So far, my 5 cav shipment has killed a villager. Not bad, not bad. We're going to start getting some strelets out. I wasn't really planning it, but I guess subliminally in my secret genius that doesn't really exist, I thought, well, maybe if I raid him a bunch with some Cossacks and then come out with some strelets, he'll overcompensate by making a lot of Janissaries. And that was kind of my mindset. I do kind of run towards his town again with the Cossacks, hoping I get some kills. Fortunately, I'm not going to get any, but that's okay. I'm going to send 700 gold next. No, I'm not. Ooh, what am I going to do? The suspense is killing me. I'm going to build some houses because I need them, and maybe I ship more Cossacks. That'd be a smart thing to do, right? Nope, looks like I'm going to build this trading post, and, oh, come on. I got to pick another shipment, don't I? 13 strelets, there we go. I've already built 10 strelets. I'll ship 13 more. That'll give me 23 strelets. Of course, it's 6 minutes, 40 seconds into the game. All the real pro players here are screaming right now at their computer saying, LOL, BTM, you so new. Why you only have 10 strelets at 6 minutes? Well, you know, I've never been an amazing player. I've just been a player that has a lot of fun, and I hope you guys have a lot of fun watching. With that being said, slaughtering villagers is a lot of fun. So there's another villager dead. Those 5 Cossacks have now killed 2 villagers. Can we make it 3? I don't know, but we are going to keep killing buffalo. And, ooh, look, there's some Janissaries walking around. So my rating is definitely on his mind. He's playing a little bit more reactively right now rather than offensively, and that is exactly where I want him to be. If I can have him trying to constantly figure out what I'm going to do, then it gives me more time to figure out what I'm going to do as well. No, but for real, there's something about having tempo that's important. I'm a chess player, and I love playing chess, and so I always think about controlling tempo. I'm going to come here and attack some villagers while the Janissaries walk up. Am I going to get one, or am I going to run away? I get one, so that's 4 or 3 villagers killed, but I do now lose a Cossack. I'm down to 4 Cossacks. I'm going to ship 4 more for my second home city shipment. I believe my shipment order then was 5 Cossacks, 700 wood, 4 Cossacks, I think. Don't quote me on that. Somebody actually watching and paying attention to the video will know. I played it, I narrated it, and what more do you expect from me? Meanwhile, I'm going to get some Streletsky starting to work on that artillery foundry. I really don't want him popping out large amounts of Abyss. And I'm thinking, all right, I feel pretty good. I feel like I'm in a little bit of the driver's seat. I feel like I have a decent mass, not amazing. I really should have 50 plus Strelets out on the field, but I don't. But who's going to judge me? Please don't judge me. And meanwhile, he's got some Jan starting to shoot at me, but I have a Strelet horde, so I'm completely A-okay with engaging the fight. Janissaries cost like 120 or 100 resources a head or something ridiculous. Strelets cost about 4 resources a head or something equally ridiculous. I mean, they're made to be a cheap burner unit, so I'm okay trading Strelets for Jans. Every day of the week, twice on the weekend. Sorry if you can hear my chair creaking. I am jumping up and down in place from excitement. Meanwhile, more Strelets are going to be coming on the field. I'm thinking, all right, let's get some warm, cheap bodies to throw into the bus. And I also note at this point that he has indeed upgraded the route to Stagecoach. And generally, if somebody's building a lot of trading posts, they're not building trading posts so they can sit there and do nothing. They're building trading posts so they can upgrade them, get a bunch of resources, turn those resources into an infinite cannonball power of doom, and then crush you. And I'm aware of this, so I'm trying to get in on the trade post fund by having one, and then of course we'll have to start attacking his trade post. But right now I'm thinking, all right, look, I can march my Strelets forward on one side of the map. I can march my Cossacks down on the bottom of the map. If you look at the mini map, you'll see that I did indeed click the Cossacks to move, and I'm trying to keep them going. I'm thinking, all right, we got to get some kills going. But he's not even on this herd at all, so I'm going to get kill number 4 or 5 with the Cossacks, which is not bad for a shipment. It's basically the equivalent of killing his 5 villager shipment. And I'm just going to keep running around causing mayhem, basically like the Allstate guy, causing mayhem like me. At this point, I didn't ship 700 wood. Honestly, I have no clue what I shipped. I guess I wasn't paying close enough attention. I assume I shipped something. Huh. 13? Oh, wait, no, I went 5 Cossacks, 13 Strelets, 4 Cossacks, spice trade. Most people like sending, they like to send 700 wood early on, but I wasn't really needing for wood. I've only built the one blockhouse and the trading post and enough houses. So with 5 people in wood, I've been pretty good. Haven't been building enough market upgrades, but hey, look, I got 8 Cossacks on the field. And that's not bad. I am 10 minutes in the game. Most of my Cossacks are live. I haven't accidentally run them into a batch of Janissaries yet. I am starting to siege down the trading post. I was thinking, well, maybe he's going to follow my Cossacks, and I'll be able to leverage that into taking down that trading post he's using. And that was good. And then I was thinking, well, if that's going on, then I can maybe check some hunts with my Cossacks and start to get more damage on this artillery foundry while he pulls over to go attack the Strelets. So right about here, I noticed a little bit of an army coming in, but I also noticed that the trading post is about to go down. So I'm thinking, this is perfect. Knock down this trading post, take off a few Jans, and then the bulk of his army starts to arrive. You can tell by the fact that those units are marching super slow. It means there's a huge horde of different types of units behind it. And they start pushing in. Those Abyss will tear through the Strelets. But I wanted to knock down that trading post before I left because he gets, what, 122 resources every 10 seconds, 30 seconds? I don't know. But he gets a lot of resources from that trading post. So knocking that down could be the equivalent of 1,000 resource swing in my favor for however many ticks he doesn't have that up and functioning. So, of course, after I knocked that down, I did bring the Cossacks over thinking, okay, maybe I can flank him and grab those grab the Abyss guns from the rear. I like to grab things from the rear, only in a consensual manner, of course. But he sends a Janissary in melee mode after me. I guess I wasn't quite as stealthy as I thought. So I'm going to run over here, try to get some free kills. But he's not having it. So I'm just going to run my Cossacks through the town and go kill other things and get the Struts burning more things down. I'm about to pop myself. I'm running out of hunts, but hey, I feel like I'm taking good map control. I feel like I'm pushing, keeping the tempo. The guy's a sergeant. I'm a master sergeant. Hadn't played in a while, though. I mean, so far this game feels a little bit more one-sided than it probably is. And to be honest, I think after that engagement at the trading post, he probably should have pushed forward. I was certainly in a vulnerable position, and he did not seize the day, take the advantage, and that probably will come back to haunt him. But I do bring forward more units here. I do let a bunch of the Strelets get trapped on the wrong side of the artillery foundry. And at this point, my units are incredibly weak, and I'm fully expecting him to go for the throat. He should go for the throat, so I'm actually going to pull the Cossacks back towards his side of the map, hoping that if he does push forward, he'll get the Janissaries in front and the Abyss in back. I can bring the Cossacks in back to kind of protect me, and then it will, of course, pull the Janissaries back to protect the Abyss, and in all that madness, just the 5 trillion Strelets in the field will be shooting, and the Cossacks will be doing damage, and his units will be moving instead of attacking, and that hopefully will be enough for me to win the game. But he ends up not pushing for some odd reason, even though I was pretty sure he had the mass. I'm going to start attacking all his villagers on the gold mine, and look at that huge mass of an army, and I'm going to retreat. But meanwhile, those Cossacks are going to town, and I don't think he's noticed yet because he's busy pursuing my army. I realized that about 10-15 seconds ago as I'm watching the Cossacks go to town. I'm thinking, you know what? I just need to stand and engage this fight. He'll be so distracted by it that he'll not pay attention to the bunches of villagers I'm slaughtering, and then after I slaughter all those villagers, I can then focus on defending my town. So at this point, we're in an interesting point. His army is vastly bigger and way superior, but I just killed 8 to 10 of his villagers. So this is the point where he needs to drive straight into my town. I have about 8 musketeers, 14 Strelets on the field. I think I have 10 more Strelets pop right then, but man, he really should be pushing hardcore. And he is not. He pulls back a bit, and I get to run around looking through hunts. Again, I still have 8 Cossacks left. Holy crap, I have 8 Cossacks left. I sent those, 10 minutes ago, and they're still all on the field. beyond for the 2 that died. Right? 2 that died, 1 that died. Either way, the Cossacks are doing surprisingly well. At this point, I have 3k food, 1k in coin. I really should look to age up. I also should still be making villagers. I'm kind of forgetting to make villagers at this point. But I'm thinking, man, I just got to push right now. And there comes his army. I can see it due to the fog of war being lifted as the stagecoach walks by. And I think, you know what? I'm A-okay with completely trading. At this point, I've killed so many of his villagers. I have so many stockpiled resources. I'm just thinking, you know what, this should be pretty easy. But then as soon as I run into that fight, I think, you know what, this isn't easy at all. Let me age up. Let me ship some better shipments. And let me get a better horde going. Because, man, that army is fearsome. Even though it looked like we were about equal in size, he was shredding through my units right there. And so I think, you know what, let's not push forward. And again, this is his fault. These were like the 3-4 minute span where he had the tempo. He could have put his foot on my neck and just stepped on it and crushed me. I could not compare to that army. Plus, for some odd reason, I still only had 1 blockhouse working. I really should have gotten other blockhouses up and going so I could spam units with greater efficiency. But again, he wasn't pushing. He was allowing me to dictate the tempo, allowing a much smaller and less quality army to harass him that much. These Russian units are crap, ladies and gentlemen, and he's acting as if they are pound for pound as good as his. Well, the reality is, if the army looks similar and he's Ottomans, he should have been pushing. Look at that. Our numbers are similar, but his units are not similar at all. His units are far superior. He should have been taking that fight to me, but every time he runs away and chooses not to push all the way, I guess he was afraid of overextending himself. But again, look, that's all the army I have beyond for 6 Strelets, 10 Strelets hanging back. If he had just pushed forward, even here again, he probably could have won the game. I'm not saying he lost. Okay, well, maybe I kind of spoiled it. But he really could have gotten some major action. I'm sorry I spoiled it. It's been a while. I need to get back in the swing of recording matches. But, man, look at this. You know, I have nothing left. I'm desperately trying to throw up some blockhouses. Imagine if he had all his soldiers come in, camp down, siege down those 2 blockhouses, siege down the other one, shoot anything that pops out. Sure, I have a lot of resources, but I don't really have a lot to do. Not a lot of means of production. I'm going to ship 2 cannons right now. I'm going to try to get them out on the field. And again, he's just letting me get back in the fight with a much larger economy. And he's not protecting his economy. I keep running my Cossacks around. I have no idea where he's gathering food. Maybe he's saving up coin for a Mamluk spam, but he's not in the 3rd age yet. He's going to need food for that. I suspect that's part of the reason why he keeps bickering over the 2 trading posts. He feels the need to get out there and compete for them, because if he loses them, he loses the match. But again, at this point, I don't even feel bad because my units are completely expendable. And now that I have 3 blockhouses up, I do feel willing to trade my army. I didn't quite feel willing to trade it earlier, but he does come forward and shoot at my Cossacks. Now I have 2 Cossacks dead of the 9 I shipped. I had 9 originally. I now have 7 left. But that's kind of impressive that 7 of them are still alive and doing damage. And of course, those 2 Cossacks lured his entire army down to the south of the map. So I'm getting to burn down the middle trade post for free. And I'm feeling pretty good about that. So the trading post does go down. He's not going to make it there in time to save it. I probably should be looking to build another town center, but I'm not. Instead, I'm just going to build a trading post, and that army comes forward to engage and then backs away, and I feel pretty good about it because now I have another 20 Strelets and 2 Falconets coming from the top of the map, a good mix of Strelets and Musketeers coming from the bottom of the map. We're going to pinch her on his base in the middle and just finally finish him off and take out the garbage. That's right, the Sergeant's garbage. Not really. Sergeant, I love you. You're a great guy. Actually, Sergeant's not your name. I don't know why I'm saying I love you. He's a decent player. I mean, probably hasn't played as much as I have over the years. And even rusty, I'm not a bad player. At this point, though, I do have my cannons in the field. I'm kind of counting on them to equalize and kill out his Abbess. He's going to face a pretty rough choice with his Abbess. He's going to have to try to narrow down the cannons or just let them all get blown away. But I am, on the other hand, going to shoot at it, and unfortunately one of my cannons somehow accidentally starts packing up instead of shooting, so I lose about 2 volleys worth of shots into that mass. But look at that horde right there. Look at the plus 13s, the plus 15s. The cannons just decimate that, and if it wasn't for the cannons even here he would have won. And if he had won, he really should have just gone for it. But again, every time it seemed like he had the tempo, he just wasn't pushing forward as aggressively as he should. That was not a mistake I was making. I got the momentum here. I won that battle decisively. I did lose both cannons, so he did manage to successfully focus down both cannons, but he is going to lose his forward base, and I'm not going to make the mistake of letting him get back into it. I should upgrade units and do some other offensive things at this point, but I'm not even worried about it. I just want to take down his means of offensive military production. I just want to make sure I keep some baseline military units coming out, and then I just want to be aggressive, and I want to take the battle home. He is pulling his troops back, which tells me that he's hoping for a last stand under his town center. He's hoping he can get some Minutemen pop, maybe some fire from the town center, and some other action in order to save him. But I don't think that's going to save him. I don't want it to save him. I'm ready to come out here and just finish the job. Again, Age of Empires 3 is interesting. It's a lot of micro, and I'm not a great micro person, but something that has a lot to do with Age of Empires 3 is knowing when to push and knowing when not to push, knowing when to put the foot on the neck, pick the fight, not pick the fight. And at this point in the game, there's many times where he could have won the game, but he didn't know to push, and I was able to keep pulling back and kind of attacking from different angles. So I kind of got lucky in a way. I don't think I won because of my skill. I won because of his mistake, because I'm not that great of a player, but hopefully I will become a better player. At this point, though, I'm just kind of burning things down randomly, and he chooses here to resign. It was a good game. It was a fun game for me. I really enjoyed getting back. Thanks for being my first match. That makes me 1-0 overall. I will be posting every match I play and the record online. That way you can see it. But before I go, I do want to leave you with a quote from Sun Tzu and The Art of War. Hold out baits to entice the enemy, feign disorder, and crush him. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is BTM. I am so grateful for you watching, and I can't wait to bring you more content regularly over the coming years. Thank you, and until next time, good luck and happy hunting. BTM out.